Everybody knows who you are, but tell them anyway.
Okay, well, because I feel like so far this campaign has been about who's Connie, what is she, where does she come from? There's not a lot of people who know a lot about us West Enders out there, which I believe is the largest geographic district in the county. So I thought I'd take a little bit of time and tell you about me and show you my competence and my common sense before I really talk about the issues. So I was born at a four-door in Monterey, California. I was born into an Air Force family. 6 of us lived in a 35-foot trailer until I was 9 years old. And when we moved into our first house in Napa, California, it was magnificent. Even though by today's standards, we would call that a cracker box. But for us, it was great. I put myself through Heald Business College in Sacramento, California, and earned an Associate of Business Arts degree. I went from there to work in the distribution center of NAPA, the Napa Automotive Parts Association in Sacramento, California. I worked in a marina in Suisun. I rented out boats. I kept books for 3 businesses. I was in parades. I was in charge of all the maintenance work at the marina. I did a lot there. Had fun too. Then I went to work for school districts. I worked in central offices for the Fairfield-Suisun Unified School District and the Vacaville Unified School District. I've worked in almost all the departments. I've done negotiations, sat on both sides of the table for negotiations, and that really gave me a good, broad background to move forward with. Well, my former Navy and then Civil Service husband and I went to Adak, Alaska in 1983. As soon as I got off the plane, before I even kissed my husband, hello, there's the superintendent of schools offering me a job as the personnel administrator. So word to the wise, if you move someplace, you want to take some time off, do not give your resume to your spouse. Because I had to, of course, accept that position, and then about a month later, I also became the financial director for the school district. So I worked for 13 years doing school district central office positions and decided, you know, I think I'm going to change my life, and I took the position of elementary school secretary for a couple of reasons. I wanted to see how the decisions made by the administration and the school district directly affected the kids in the classroom. I wanted to completely overhaul all the office procedures, update them at the elementary school, and I really wanted summers off so that I had more time to crab and halibut and salmon fish. My largest halibut is 234 pounds gutted, and I have a picture of me standing next to this fish that's this tall, so that's the story for another day. So after a couple of years at the elementary school, I decided I was going to work for myself there on Adak. So I opened up a dog grooming business, a floral arranging business. I worked 6 days a week as the head bagger at the Navy Commissary. That gave me interaction with a lot of people. And I held contracts to stock over 240 line items in the commissary. During that same period of time, because the night wasn't used up yet, I was the night administrator for University of Alaska Adak Extension. So, needless to say, we paid cash for everything when we got down here, because I didn't realize I was such a taskmaster. But the last year that Jim and I were on Adak, I had to have a critical billet in order to stay on the island because they were closing it down. So I applied for and was given the position of lead accounting technician for Naval Security Group Activity, Adak. And after 4 months, I received a commendation for returning hundreds of thousands of dollars back to the federal government of obligated but unencumbered funds, something that was unheard of at that time, and I'm sure it still is today, but I enjoyed that much. And my husband and I were the last married couple to leave Adak as they closed the base down. And we came out to Joyce, just a couple miles west of Joyce proper, so don't blink when you go through it. And we started an alpaca farm. So for the past 20 years, I have bred, raised, showed, and sold alpacas and alpaca products, not meat, but from their fiber. And now I find myself as the manager and state certified operator of Crescent Water Association out in Joyce. We serve fabulous unfluoridated water to over 2,800 people out in the Joyce and freshwater area. Crescent Water is the 22nd largest nonprofit water association in the state of Washington, and the second largest diatomaceous earth water processing plant. So we're not just a hillbilly little place out there. I also serve my community as I sit on the 2015 Charter Review Commission with Sue Ford, and I'm the vice chair of the Clallam County Planning Commission. I also sit on the Crescent Community Action Committee, and I previously served as an agriculture representative on the Economic Development Council. So last year, I was looking around and thought, you know, we are still lagging way behind the I-5 corridor in economic recovery. So I asked myself and I asked other people around me, what is our vision for our county? Where do we see ourselves in 5 years and in 20 years? And virtually everyone agrees with me, we want a prosperous county. So how do we get there? A couple of weeks ago, Luke Robbins, who's president of the Peninsula College, gave a great presentation to the Port Angeles Business Association. And he talked about the great programs that they have up at the college, and he gave glowing statistics, and rightly so. We should all be very proud of our Peninsula College. But after the presentation, I asked him, so what percentage of the graduates stay in our county? He didn't have a statistic. He didn't have a percentage. He did say, however, that, you know, there are no family wage jobs. There's not a supply of them here available. And I say, shame on us. The port is the largest economic driver for creating job opportunities in our county. And that's why I'm running for Port Commissioner representing District 3. I want to take my competence and my common sense to that board so that we can try to make this county more prosperous. I want to make sure that our public assets are used well in creating job opportunities that will provide for family wage jobs, you know, such as developing the Composite Recycling Technology Center and diversifying business lines off of that, and really aggressively marketing for marine trade businesses. I want to work to continue and have rapid environmental cleanup of our harbor, of all of the public lands that are overseen by the port, so that we can get those lands developed and get new businesses in here. I will insist on better communication between the commissioners and staff, and between the commissioners and the public. We live in an age of transparency, and we need to make sure that we are as transparent as we can be, that we represent the public as best we can. And we must regain full use of the runway at Fairchild International Airport and work to reestablish a reliable airline service. So that should elicit some questions and some suggestions and comments from you, but before we do that, I do want to ask for your vocal support, your financial support, and your vote in November, so that we can move forward into a new prosperous era for our port and our county.
Connie, how much ground, other than the wet, obvious areas like the airport and the port itself, how much ground does the Port of Port Angeles own?
There is a lot of acreage out there. I believe it's 150 acres. And I know that the FAA, with the master plan for the airport, because of that industrial property is there on the same property as the airport, that is considered part of the airport, and that's kind of how we're keeping that line of business solvent. I know that Green Crow owns at the end of the runway, and that we have lost 1,000 feet of our approach on that runway because of the trees. Did that answer your question?
The composite recycling, how is that not going to end up to be another toxic cleanup? There's no market for it. They're raising money. How do we know that we're not going to end up with some, because it's very toxic. They have to keep it refrigerated.
They keep it refrigerated because the chemicals have not melded together yet.
Right.
So it's two different processes. It's kind of like fiberglass in a boat. You have your fiberglass and you have your other resin, thank you, put over it, and then there's a process where it melts together. That's what this is. So it has to be kept at a cooler temperature so that you don't get that welding or melding happening before you want it to become something else. Otherwise, you have to pull the fibers out of it and start over again.
But that's fine. But you say you find something that they're going to use it for, and there's a
Yes.
pattern. No matter how careful you are, you're going to have clippings that drop to the floor that can't be used. How are you going to, that's toxic. How do you recycle it? How do you get rid of it?
Those little pieces can still be chopped up and used again.
How?
The fibers can be pulled out of them and the process started over again.
Oh my goodness.
It's not as toxic as you think, really. And let me just say this about it. I have a call into the gentleman who teaches the course, and he's going to take me through the whole process. So I don't have, I've heard many presentations on the project itself, and it does sound good, and he's going to show me about the process itself. I know that every new business is risky. I can say that Boeing is not doing this themselves because they're not in the market for these other products. They're in the market to make airline pieces. So we're taking those unprocessed pieces and are going to make other things out of it, such as you can make ski poles and skis and skateboards and face masks and boat lid covers. There's no end to the products that can be made with this. And I know people have said, well, why aren't they doing it over there?
Where's the market?
Why not here? Why not here? The only thing that we're missing is transportation, and yet we do have that. We'll be able to move over $1 million worth of that raw product in a single container over here to be made into other products that then hopefully can be flown out or overlanded or barged out.
Do they have a buyer?
Yes, they do. So what the port is securing now, and they do have letters of intent, is from Boeing, who is going to supply so much of this product to us for a certain length of time. They have two big companies who are very eager for this to get going so that they can have products made for it. There's one large company that is not going to come in and make the product themselves, but they're going to come in and oversee their product being made so they can buy it wholesale. And that's a very large company.
If I could add, Connie? Your question came up during the hearings we had for the Opportunity Fund monies. And so we were lucky enough to have somebody in the audience from Peninsula to manage that program. When that product is transported from Seattle to Port Angeles, it's transported with those layers closed together. So even if that vehicle wrecked and they were all over the road, and then the quantity, I mean, I don't know, Connie, I got the sense that we were talking about 1 truckload a month. Okay, it's not like there's a large quantity of this.
So there won't be a massive storage?
No, there won't. No, they will have the trucks brought over here as they need the product. So there'll never be more than two containers over here.
Is there anywhere online that you can go and look at the MSDS sheets on the stuff or some type of whatever the toxicity is?
I don't know if there is or not, but perhaps I can come back another time where I can leave information after I talk to the
It seems like that
instructors.
everybody I talk to, that's their biggest objection is you're just hauling off their waste from them and then we're gonna wind up with a toxic thing.
Well, but see, here's the
You don't know
thing.
how toxic it is.
Right. They're taking that stuff to a landfill now, so it's really throwaway now. So if we can use it and keep that out of the landfill and we can make good product for it, if there is any left over that we can't use or the business goes under, we're not left with this product sitting here. You just do what Boeing used to do, and that is to take it to a dump.
I think that you could put that to rest very easily, just publishing what is the toxicity.
They'd have to have it published on in Peninsula College because they've got a lab right now that works with them.
Right. They're making a product with it now.
Somebody believable.
Well, once the stuff sets up, it's not toxic anymore.
Right.
It's pretty hard.
Exactly.
So what I do is just let it set up and dump it.
Yeah, it's when it's out of port that it's melding into the product.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you. think you would do in the same car, sure.
Connie, would anybody like to take signs
Say, well,
today?
Either one of you, pardon?
Would
I do
anyone like
have
to take
signs
signs?
here today. I would love for you to take and put in your yards and or give to your friends or whoever so that we can march my name across the county. And for those who don't know, I did come in first in the primary. I garnered 33% of the vote. The second place person had 25%. So I was well in the lead with the primary, and I hope to carry that through the county and have an even higher percentage at the end of the general.
And if I can offer you one more plug, I'm Connie's campaign manager.
Now it takes good.
Now you understand why they're together. Forgot the invitation together.